If you got married in the last 1 year, then you might relate with this. Everything is changing, even your sense of self, and you feel that your true self is never gonna get back. And at the same time, your body is changing, it's getting big. And at the same time, the people who used to say, "Beta ji, अब है ना ज़्यादा लेट मत करना, बस शादी कर लो," are now saying, "Oh my God, तू तो इतना फैल गई है, हाय राम, क्या कर लिया तूने, शादी क्यों कर ली तूने?" Girl, you don't have to worry at all, because I am here standing right next to you. And welcome to this video in which we are going to talk about 15 tips which I am going to give from my experience of losing weight after marriage. So without wasting any time, let's just jump into the tip number 1, and that is take your time to ease into this new environment. What I mean by this is that no matter how well you know the guy, no matter how well you know the family, no matter how much time you spend with them, being in a new environment is always alien, and it's okay. And that's why my tip number 1 is to take your time and take time to bond with the entire family, because unless you are mentally at ease, physical ease is not going to happen. My tip number 2 is that you introduce one change at a time. What I mean by this is that it is completely possible that right from the sleeping position to the cooking methods, everything is different than what you're accustomed to, and you're not liking anything. And you're constantly torn between the idea of being a good girl and compromising with everything, or standing up for yourself and be labeled as the rebel. What if I tell you that you do not have to do either? I want you to prioritize one thing at a time, and it can be your favorite foods, it can be your sleeping time, it can be your sleeping position, it can be the foods that you like eating, it can be that 1 hour of exercise. Whatever it is, pick one thing at once and then communicate that very clearly and politely. Do this, and trust me, you might even get a response which you were not at all prepared for, because the other person is going to be so understanding about your needs. I get a lot of queries from girls who have recently been married and they are not able to take out any time for their self-care because they want to not bother anyone. I call it the good girl syndrome.
बता उनके सामने कैसे मुस्कुराएगी? अरे जल्दी बता।
It's when, just to match the societal idea of a good girl, you compromise on your own self-needs, your self-care and your self-well-being. And believe it or not, we get it from our mothers, being Indian girls. And if you want, you can come and argue with me on the comment section, but I know what I said. Now, since I hope with these 2 tips you are mentally prepared for the shift, and that's the reason why my 3rd tip is the actionable tip, I want you to start your day with a glass of water. Every single day, no matter what happens, just hydrate yourself in the morning, because when you are new in this family, there is a very fair chance that everyone is celebrating using food, and as a result, your meal timings are all over the place, your sleeping times are all over the place, and that can lead to massive dehydration also. Apart from that, you can also be too full to drink water all day, and that's the reason why I want you to start your day with a glass of water so that you can hydrate yourself, feel fresh about yourself for at least that 1 hour in the morning. And my next tip for you is that you should read and watch fitness content and get motivated. But here it's very, very important that you don't overwhelm yourself with too much of fitness content. Just stick to one person. Find out that one person who makes sense to you. It can be me. And just follow what they are saying. And at the same time, when you are just sticking to one person, you not only will not be overwhelmed, but you will be able to understand the exact concept of that one person, and you will be able to apply that on yourself without getting confused into the misleading sea of information on the internet. My next tip for you is that you put your oxygen mask first. What I mean by this is that when you are watching all of this great fitness content on my page, that's when you might feel like making everyone in your family healthy. But it is going to be a futile exercise to apply the same thing on everyone. There's a fair chance that any reasonable person will not stop you from caring for yourself. But at the same time, there is a difference between being yourself and trying to change everyone according to yourself. And despite the fact that I am a clinical and sports nutritionist, I've been working for more than a decade, worked with thousands of people, carried out their transformations. I can tell you this one thing. You cannot change anyone else who is not ready to change. And that's the reason why, rather than beating around the bush with other people trying to change them, focus on yourself first. Too much oil in lunch, add an extra cup of curd with yourself so that you are filling yourself with the right things. You feel that fried food is a norm in your in-laws' place for breakfast, make yourself an oat bowl separately for yourself, and once they see changes in you, once they see you carrying out a healthy lifestyle for yourself, they might change, they might not change, that's completely up to them, but at least you're putting your oxygen mask first. And my next tip for you is that you enjoy every meal. Yes, Manisha, at one point you're saying that I should make a separate meal for myself. Another point you're saying that I should enjoy every meal that I'm having. What do you mean? I mean that there is a very fair chance that in many circumstances you will not have any choice in what is being served to you. And in those times, rather than bickering around in yourself or just getting anxious about what is the kind of food is being served to you, just enjoy the meal if you enjoy the taste. Because if you are a newly married girl, there is a very fair chance that people are going to love you. And in our country and in general, food is a representation of celebration and love. When somebody is offering you that, it's okay if you don't have an alternative. Just enjoy that meal and take care of yourself from the next meal. However, it's a very, very fair chance that you will also be stuffed with over food as well. That's the reason why my next 2 tips are that you eat when you're hungry and you stop when you're full. Now, to apply these 2 tips, you will have to be very much firmly in touch with your body signals, because our body gives us the chemical signals in the form of leptin and ghrelin to tell us when we are hungry and when we are full. All you have to do is just be stern about it and do not get pressurized when somebody is offering you over food, because that is not going to serve any purpose in your body and you will not be able to enjoy that food also. How to prevent that from happening? नहीं बेटा, एक और पूरी तो आपको खानी ही पड़ेगी. नहीं, actually आपने इतना अच्छा बनाया कि मैंने इससे ज़्यादा खाया ना, तो इस खाने का स्वाद खराब हो जाएगा. See, it's not that tough. And it's not a lie. When you overeat on something, even if it is very tasty, you stop enjoying it after a point and then you start bickering about that food which you were lovingly eating. So you might as well convey it. And my next tip for you is that you stay active throughout the day. What I mean by this is that there is a very fair chance that you are going to be busy with your office work, busy with your business, whatever you do, and at the same time you're busy with whatever new duties and new responsibilities that you have. And in this time, you might completely forget about your body's movement, and as a result of that, you might develop physical pains, lack of energy, lack of enthusiasm, because you are missing out on this one capability our body has, and that is movement. It's completely okay if you can take out only 1 hour or 15 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever time that is. Just take out that time and prioritize your physical activity. And in continuation of this is my next tip, and that is walk and talk. Phone calls with your mother, phone calls with your colleagues. Just make sure that you're walking when you're talking to these people, because that way, if nothing else, at least you are not rusting yourself by just sitting on a system all day. And no, I do not mean that you should walk 10,000 steps every day, because that equates for 1 hour of workout. It never does. In fact, I would go as far as to say that 10,000 steps is actually a very arbitrary number, and it might not even give you any benefit of a workout as such. It just keeps you active so that you are using your joints. That's it. And my next tip for you is that you keep healthy snacking options with yourself at home. Yes, it's a very fair chance that you might not have all the control about throwing out all the junk snacks that are there in the kitchen, but you can stock your healthier snacks in your kitchen. If you want some help on healthy snacking, let me know in the comments and I will send you the link of an entire playlist that I have created on Instagram, where I have shared multiple recipes of drinks, of sweet, of salty, multiple kind of snacking options, so that you can store them with yourself and enjoy healthy snacking when you can, if you are at all feeling hungry after those heavy meals. And my next tip for you is that you set your expectations right from the very beginning. And good girl syndrome has such an important role to play in the downfall of so many girls after marriage. And I want to state this here today. Discussing your negotiable and non-negotiables and fighting are not the same thing. I once had a client who told me that since the very first day of her wedding, she was not comfortable with the late night snacking idea in her in-laws' place, and at the same time she never said anything about it because of the good girl syndrome, and as a result she ignored her sleep cycle, she ignored her body signals, she overate late night snacking in the assumed peer pressure, and as a result of that gained weight and developed hypothyroidism and basically ruined her whole health. I do not want you to be that girl. And if I tell you honestly, I had this conversation within the first 1 month of my marriage with my mother-in-law, and I was feeling too guilty about missing my workouts, and I shared it with her. She advised me to not break the rhythm that I had created in multiple years, and as a result of that, she became my accountability partner in the sweetest way possible. And after my marriage, I have started to feel that the love stories are not between the boy and a girl. The fairy tales actually happen between the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. And my next tip for you is that you prioritize sustainable changes over body shaming assholes. What I mean by this is that marriage, if not the biggest, but it is one of the biggest changes that ever happened to you in your life. And as a result of that, if you're not able to prioritize the pink of your health, if you're not able to prioritize the best of everything for yourself because you're just overwhelmed with everything that is happening, it is completely okay. And at the same time, if in this time your body changes a bit and you're not able to keep track of it, that is also completely okay. But there are always going to be certain people who will always talk bitter to you, who will always have rude things to say to you, who will always cross the line and comment on your body, and I want you to not listen to these people. In fact, while enjoying this new change of my life, when I was gaining weight and at the same time I was putting up my knowledge and all the things that I have gathered over multiple years of education, I was getting body shamed on Instagram every single day. And what I realized by that experience is that when somebody is vomiting out their bitter experiences and their bitter words on you, it's their projection, not yours. And even if you try to reason with them, they are not there to reason with you. They just want to portray their mindset on you. That's it. So no point of arguing with them, no point of explaining yourself to them. All you have to do is to take care of yourself and create sustainable changes for yourself. Because if you think that you are losing out on something because you gained 5-10 kgs, trust me on this. I had a risk of my whole business when I was gaining weight. Because if a dietitian is not slim, then the person doesn't know anything. That's what the society thinks. And at the same time, if I took 8 months, in fact more than a year, to get off the weight that I gained in 4 months while facing a risk on my livelihood, you can do the same too. Why I took so much of time and risk to conduct this change is because I understand the value of sustainable changes. I understand that even if I lose that 5-10 kgs in like a 2-month period, yes, I can lose that weight, but that's going to challenge my health for the long run. I need my bones to be with me when I'm 60 years old. I need my period to be regular till the time I'm 50 years old. I want energy in my body to go on a hike when I am retired. I want to play with my grandchildren whenever they happen. And all of these good changes can never be possible if you are just thinking about that number on the scale. I hope this video gave you the motivation, the mindset shifts, and some actionable tips on how you can carry out your own transformation in the process of living an entirely new life for yourself. And if you want some hand holding, you can sign up for my Fitness Kickstart program, in which I am going to prepare you for your entire fitness transformation while you balance your social, professional and personal life. The link to book that is going to be in the description box, and I would love to know in the comments what you thought about this video, because I love your feedback. And if you want some help on how to manage your food while you're attending so many family functions, watch this vlog, because in this vlog I have created an entire list of foods that you can have without hampering your health at a family function. I will see you in this video next. All the best, girl. Bye bye.